Hey guys, it's Sarah and today's Book List Thursday. This is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about. And this week we are going to celebrate back to school time. Now, my children have been in school for a couple of weeks now. They actually started back, I believe, August 12th was their first day. And so they've been in school for a couple of weeks. It was a stressful time for me because my oldest just started middle school and I was an anxiety-ridden wreck the first day of school for her. She was fine. Believe me. She was like, I got this, Mom. Everything's fine. I know. I was a mess at home, just worrying about my baby, but she's good. She's got it down pat. And then my younger is in third grade. So mine have been in school. Lindsay's, however, just started. So we thought we would take this week to kind of celebrate back to school time. And we are going to show you books that are set in schools. Now, I have read all of these books except for one, and this book is actually on my TBR, and I would really love to read it at some point. My older daughter, Kaylin, read this and absolutely loved it, and that is The School for Good and Evil, and this is by Soman Chinani. I think that's how you say his name. This is book one. It is, I believe, at least a 6-book series from what I'm understanding. I think there are 5 books out and he's like book 6 is going to come out at some point. And this follows 2 girls, and they live in this world where when you come of age, you go to a school for good or you go to a school for evil. And that is where you learn your trade, you learn how the world works, you learn magic, things like that. And our 2 main characters believe they know exactly where they're going. One believes she's going to the school for good, one goes to the school for evil. However, it gets flipped and they go to the opposite school that they think they're going to go to. And I have heard really great things about this series. Again, my daughter read this first one and she absolutely loved it. So I'm totally going to jack it from her shelf. And she also has the other 2 books, books 2 and 3 in the series as well. And she's excited to read those. So at some point I will pick this up and read it for sure. But definitely a school setting in this one. The next one I'd like to talk about is Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is the first book in the Nevermore series. There are 2 books out currently. Book number 3 is going to come out in the US in March. And I absolutely loved this book. This is one of my favorites of the year so far. And it follows our young girl, Morgan, who is believed to be cursed. And she ends up accepting her fate that she has to die on her 11th birthday. That's kind of the way that all of these cursed children, the way their lives go, you're kind of prophesied to go meet your death on your 11th birthday. So she's about to turn 11. She's ready for it. She's accepted her fate. However, a strange man named Jupiter North swings into her birthday party the night before her birthday and pretty much tells her, you don't have to die. Come with me. And he basically rescues her from her fate and takes her to a place called Nevermore, which she had never heard of. And this is a place where he is entering her to participate in some trials in order to get into an academy there. And the majority of this first book is set mostly, it's in Nevermore and the academy is there, but she's not attending it yet. She's trying to get into it and trying to go through these trials to be qualified to go to this academy. More of the academy is in the second book, which is Wondersmith, which I absolutely loved as well. But this is the great starting point for that. And I absolutely loved it. I loved the trials to get in. They were so funny and definitely adventure, action-packed in here and everything. So I loved it. All right, so this next one is Wonder by R.J. Palacio. This one is oh man, this book really touched my heart. It really, really did. I fell in love with August as a main character. He was just a pure-hearted child and I loved him. So this follows August, who has been homeschooled most of his life because he was born with an abnormality which causes his face and his head to grow at a different rate than the rest of his body, and it grows differently. And so he looks very different. A lot of people say he looks very scary, and it's he goes through all these different surgeries to try to correct as much as they can, just so that he can live a life comfortably, regardless of what he looks like. He just wants to be able to eat correctly and hear correctly and see correctly. And it's difficult for him. So he's been homeschooled most of his life because he's, in and out of the hospitals and doing all these things. When he's going into 5th grade, he decides to start going to public school. And that's an adjustment, right? And so you see him deal with his classmates and how they react to him, how adults react to him. And it's a really great lesson in acceptance and a really great narrative on, treat people the way you want to be treated. Don't treat people based on how you think their lives are, because you don't know. And it was wonderful. It was such a great book. I absolutely loved it. So it was wonderful. This next one is more of a kind of a new adult book, and that is All These Beautiful Strangers by Elizabeth Clethoff. And this one follows a set of young adults who are entering into college, and it's a very elite college, I guess you could say, like a private institute. It's very expensive. A lot of these kids are very rich and very privileged and all that kind of stuff. And this follows them being a part of a secret society at the school, and things that they have to do to be a part of the society, and things that are bleeding into their everyday life because of the society. And I really, really loved this book when I read it. It was such a great time. It kept me guessing the whole time, because you're also trying to figure out someone who has disappeared and what happened to this woman. She is tied to one of our main characters very closely, and it was really, really good. I really love the secret society aspect of this one, and majority of it takes place at the school. And the last one is a book that I loved, and that is Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Now, this one is a adult fantasy. I know a lot of people would probably think this was young adult because our main character is actually very young, but no, this was very, very adult. And it follows Mia Corvair, who is a young girl, and she's orphaned. Her parents are brutally killed, and she ends up being taken in by someone who sends her to go to assassin school because he's realizing what a talent she has for this. And she wants to go so that she can learn some techniques to then turn on her government and to kill the people who she believes wrongly killed her family. And this book is like, oh my gosh, I loved it so, so much. It's very, very intense. It's very, very violent, but Mia is such a great character. And one of my favorite side characters in here as well, his name was Trick. And I loved watching them go through this academy together, because they're both in this assassin school. And just seeing some of the things that they have to do in this school was crazy and scary, like life and death situations. People die at this academy because they can't, protect themselves. And the things that they're tested on is just insane. It was fantastic. Loved it, loved it. Can't wait to go on with the series. But so definitely a great school setting, and this is an assassin school. Okay, guys, that is it. Those are 5 books. 4 books that I read, 1 book I haven't, that are set in a school setting. So let me know some of your favorite books that are set in school settings down below as well. I would love to check some of them out, because I love books that are set in schools or academies or, anything like that. It's kind of one of my buzzwords. So let me know down below what some of your recommendations would be. Make sure you go check out Lindsay's channel today as well. I will leave her link down below. I'm really excited to see if she says any of the same things that I do. And we will talk to you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.